everybody, welcome to the For Knit Fix podcast. I am Allison and I am coming to you from El Paso, Texas. I am a military spouse. We just relocated here from Germany back in January, so we're still kind of figuring out where things are, things to do, checking out the library and all that fun stuff. This is a knitting, crocheting, cross stitch, maybe eventually some spinning, a little bit of sewing podcast. The main premise of the podcast is to document me in my minimalist journey of not buying anything for my stash until July the 1st. So far I've been successful. If you follow me on Instagram, I usually post a lot of stuff that I'm planning on doing, my dream knitting, my current knitting, all of that fun stuff. There was a little small loophole at the beginning of January, only because our little yarn shop in El Paso, Texas closed 2 weeks after we showed up. So my husband went and bought me a whole boatload of yarn for potential projects that I was thinking about doing over the next 6 months. But so far it's actually been really easy. There's been sometimes where I'm like, well, I wish I had this color, but I am almost always finding something that can work for a shawl, or socks are usually kind of my go-to right now. But I actually have a decent amount where when I get to my dream knitting segment, I have 2 shawls, or 3 shawls actually. Yeah, 3 shawls are in my dream knitting that I need to cast on eventually in the next couple, whenever I get to it. I don't like to do more than 1 shawl. Plus right now, my Stephen West shawl is taking up 2 sets of my circulars. And they're all my long cords, which is what you need for your shawls anyways. And another thing, today's my birthday. I'm 31. When you have kids and a husband in the military, you make your own cake, which is what we're going to do when my oldest gets off the bus today. It's also picture day, and he looked so cute. I went shopping for shirts for him because we don't own a lot of nice clothing, just because they get it dirty, they grow out of it so fast. I don't like to spend a whole lot of money on things that they only wear once or twice before they grow out of them. So I went shopping and I found a really cute button-up shirt with like a contrasting, collar and like a little faux pocket square, but it's still like a casual shirt, so it's not super dressy. I'm hoping his pictures turn out really, really well. I kind of failed when they took fall pictures in Germany. I just put them in a long sleeve navy blue shirt and called it a day. I'm drinking coffee, black, no sugar, no cream. This is a mug I got from a second sale at a store called Greg's Pottery in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So if you live there, go check it out. January, I don't know if they still do it. This was like 4 or 5 years ago that I got this. And I only got it because I like this little nook that you can put your hand in. I think it's meant to be a left-handed mug, so you hold it like this. But I usually just kind of put my fingertips and drink it that way. And what I'm wearing, this is a Pure Joy, I call it a schlanket because it is not in fingering weight yarn. It is in DK. This is LRA Superwash DK. And this, oh gosh, I don't even remember. I got it in one of those yarn subscription boxes. It's in my my stash on Ravelry, as well as the information for the project on Ravelry as well. I am a knitter who is very persistent. I definitely update my Ravelry as much as possible, and so I include most of my stash, like some like little bits and bobbles I don't add in my stash. Like I have a bunch of Knit Pick strolls that I haven't added because they're just 50-gram balls, but I add them for my projects if they're not in my stash. So if you're ever wondering, go to Ravelry. It's For Knit Sakes, all one word, and you can find information on projects that I've done or that I'm working on. I usually just pull my pictures straight from Instagram, so if you follow me on Instagram, you can also see pictures there, but you won't get any information on the projects. On Instagram, you can find me as forknit_sakes, and I usually try to post once a day. I'm doing the Yarn Love Challenge right now, and I've done all of the days so far. I don't know what today is. I'll have to figure it out and then I'll post later. So we will dive straight into finished objects. I only have a few. It's been 2 weeks since the last time I podcast. So I did finish my husband's blueberry waffle sock. So actually it's really only a hoe because I've only done the cuff on the other one. But I finished this. This is Piratenwolle yarn. She is out of Exertal, Germany. I used to get it all the time. Her skeins were fairly inexpensive. She shipped really fast. And then I even had one mistaken order where she sent me the wrong number. It was like 364, but I had ordered 384 or something like that. And she just sent me the replacement immediately, and it showed up on my doorstep by the end of the week. So I actually wove in the ends. I just never cut them because I didn't have scissors. And I have my stitch markers here. I'm pretty sure I got these from Mothy and the Squid. Yeah, they're all nautical themed. So I got a little squid there. And then my son's favorite octopus. He always likes to steal it from me whenever I'm working on yarn. He always literally just tries to pull it off of wherever I'm working. But this was just so I marked where I started the legs, where I put my heel in, and then the toe decreases. I just did a short row heel. Again, you guys, I'm lazy and I get very little time to myself to knit. Filming this podcast, I had to bribe my 3-year-old to watch a video and to not bother me until I was done. So he knows that we're making cake later, so hopefully that'll work out for him. They fit his foot really well. These were done on size 0s. I started with DPNs, and I don't think I'm a DPN lover. I switched to my Lana Grossa circulars and just went from there. And I flew down the foot. With the DPNs, I would knit like a row or a few repeats of the leg, and I'm like, no, I don't like it. So then I think I'm just going to have to destash my Knit Picks sock needle set. They're really great, and I bought them a really long time ago, but honestly, I haven't used them. I think I would just much rather do Magic Loop for socks. So I just finished those, and I can show you the other one during my my works in progress part. I have to pull my bin of all my stuff. I finished my niece's blanket. I just did this out of some Karen Simply Soft paints that I had in my stash. I needed a third one, and my friend Polly, hi Polly, sent me a replacement, or not a replacement, but a third skein so I could finish it, because with only 2 skeins it would have been such a tiny blanket. So I just need to weave in the ends and then get it in the mail. Hopefully I can do that tomorrow or later this week. And then I think I finished, oh yeah, a dishcloth. Again, I actually went and found the measurements. A cone has 706 yards to it, and I did the math, and I'm going to be able to get about 11 dishcloths. I've done a couple face scrubbies out of it yet, so maybe like I'll get 10. But so far I've done 2. So that means I have about 8 more to go. And I did a crochet one just because I needed something super fast. So I did a crochet, really plain and simple. It was just, I think I chained 30, and then I did double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet all the way across. Maybe not. I've done that for other ones though. That's a really super simple one. This might have been single crochet and chain, and then you do the single crochets in the chains following. So I did that one. So now I have 3 dishcloths in my finished little bucket. None of the ends are woven in. Nobody likes to do that, right? Anybody? Oh yeah, and I finished some socks for my son Levi. These are all in my notes, but I'm not really looking at them, so sorry if this is super scattered. I finished his rainbow socks. Look at how cute his feet are. He is almost 6 in April, and I cast on 52 stitches on a size 1 Hiya Sharps, and I did them 2 at a time. He likes this one better because it has more colors in it. I'm really glad I got a little bit of red in this one, because he would have been really bored because everything was just blue, green, and purple. But I don't think they're going to wear very well. When I was just doing the Kitchener stitch, the yarn just ripped. It's that single ply yarn. So I told him that he can only wear them at home. He can't wear them to school, because I don't think they're going to do well inside shoes, especially he has PE every day at school. So I told him that he can only wear them at home, but now I think he's too scared and he doesn't want to wear them at all because he doesn't want to ruin them. So now I don't know what to do. So now I think I just need to convince him to wear them. And I showed this as a finished object last time, but I actually went and bought the buttons this weekend. Joanne for me, sorry about all those Facebook notifications. I got to figure out how to turn those off. Joanne is about 30 minutes from my house. So I went down there because they were having a bunch of sales, and I figured it would be the best option to find buttons and stuff. There's my dog, do you see her? There's Lucy. So I made the trip down there to this weekend. Plus, with our move, I lost my sewing straight edge for when you use the rotary cutter, so I needed to buy a new one. Looked for coupons, and luckily buttons were half off, and I found these. I have 4, so now I have 1 more, and I have a bunch of this yarn left, so I think I'm going to make like a headband of some sort, because you know I need headbands when it's 75 degrees in February. It's only chilly like first thing in the morning when I'm at the bus stop, and then the rest of the day it warms up quite quickly. So I found these buttons. Let's see, will it? Hopefully it's focusing. It's hard to see on my screen. And it has the colors of the yarn in it, and I thought that they looked really cute. I like that I can unbutton 2 of them to wear it kind of as a like an off the shoulder, or I can wear it all together. I really wish it was a little bit smaller. Maybe like not even a full repeat smaller, or maybe I should have gone down a size, but it just, I mean, I can show you. This is just a little complicated to take off because it's so long, but it keeps me super warm, and then I mess up my hair. So when you put it on, I feel like I wanted it to be longer, possibly, and maybe a little bit more fitted. And people are messaging me. It was actually my sister telling me happy birthday. So thanks, Melody. Thanks for saying happy birthday if you watch this. So I mean, it's pretty long. Still smells really good. I just wish it was a little bit tighter. And what I've thought about is just rebuttoning it instead of in the buttonholes, to just use any of these yarn overs, and then that'll kind of help decrease the amount that's there. I don't know. I gotta play around with it. I'm new to cowls. I usually wear shawls. Now I gotta put this one back on. As you can see, it's super duper long. If you haven't knit the Pure Joy shawl, do it, just because it's super duper easy. I've made 2. One for my friend who lives in California now. She's also a military spouse. And then this one, and they both only took me about a week, just because short rows are super fast, and you know, the yarn overs, very little purling in the project. So I'm pretty sure those are all of my FOs. So now we're gonna move on to works in progress. The easiest one I can show you is the blueberry waffle socks. Now I can't remember where my husband got this bag, but it's the cutest little sock bag. It fits a cake of yarn. It's kind of hard to squish my knitting in there sometimes, but I make it work. You can kind of see. And they have little Boston Terriers, just like my little Lucy, my puppy. Well, she's not a puppy. She's 7 years old. So yeah, I started these on Magic Loop instead of doing DPN, excuse me. So I've just done the cuff right now, 20 rows of 2x2 rib, size 0s. So now I'll start the leg, and hopefully I can have these done so my husband can wear them. He also is one of those, he doesn't want to ruin a sock, so I've made him 1 pair of socks before, the Hubbin socks, and I think he's worn them once around the house. If not, I'll steal them. We pretty much have the same foot size because I have a gigantic foot. Not gigantic, it's a 9.5, ladies. But my husband, well, maybe he just has a small foot then. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Do you have a big foot, small foot? I don't know. So blueberry waffles. I gotta pull down for my other thing. This is in just a little drawstring bag I got in one of the Christmas stocking swaps that happened on Ravelry a couple years ago. My swapper sent them to me, and I've had this yarn since June of 2013. So it has almost been, I'm going to try to close all my windows so I could not get any more notifications. There we go. Okay. I've had this yarn since then. I bought it from Baba Sheep in Norfolk, Virginia. Actually, my sister bought it for me because she also bought some yarn for me to make her some cowls and some infinity scarves before we moved to Germany. And surprisingly, this is German yarn, and we paid a lot more money than if I would have just waited to get to Germany, because when you buy German yarn here at the little yarn shops, it's they pay import taxes and all that other stuff, so it's significantly more expensive. But this is some sport weight opal yarn, and these are fidget socks. It's nice, pretty blue gray and like a little bit like a burgundy gray. And I cast these on originally for Candace from Pin Feathers and Pearls podcast for her stripy sock cowl, but it's not striping, I think, as much as she would want it to. So I think I'm going to have to pull out one of my Regia yarns and cast on a new one. And now let me chat with you really quick about 2 at a time socks. I thought I disliked them because I was doing my sun socks on the highest. I think it has a lot to do with the cord. And these are my Chiaogus. These are size 3s, and it's not a 40-inch total between the cord and the needles. It's only 32 inches. Now you can see I don't have a lot of space here, but it's just enough for when I'm going around. I'm not fumbling with the cord as much. And so it's much easier to do around without fumbling and like moving my needles. And the trick is to keep your socks really close together when they're like this. Now, when you do the other sock and you're in between, obviously you can't keep them close together because there's a pair of needles in between them. But I definitely recommend that. And then Connie from Chili Knits and Chelsea from Legacy Fiber Arts. I got this idea from both of them. You use a button. Before you cast on, you thread your yarn through 2 separate holes. It's kind of hard to see. Put it in my face, maybe a little bit. So there's 1 thread through each buttonhole. And I also don't start off 2 at a time. For this one, I knit a toe, and then I put them on, I put this one on a pair of DPN holders, or DPNs to hold them. And then I knit the other toe, and then I started doing 2 at a time. So then I'm not fiddling with the magic cast on for 2 separate socks and then trying to fiddle with the yarn and stuff. It makes it much simpler and efficient time-wise, just because I'm not wasting time fiddling with the yarn and stuff. And the button makes it easy because then I just pull it down and I don't have to untwist it nearly as much, which I think is great. So the time when I did my sun sock, I didn't put it through a button, and I was constantly fiddling, and the haya cords kept turning in funny directions. I don't think I'm a haya lover. I think I'm just going to be a Chiaogu person. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody likes there's certain kinds of needles. There are people that like their signature needle arts. I don't think I can ever justify the price of buying them. So you will probably never see haya sharps, signature needle arts, just because I can't do it. Maybe when I have a job, when both me and my husband work full time, then maybe I can justify it. But one income, another reason why I'm doing the minimalist challenge is just because food is more important and paying your bills. So we don't live beyond our means. We tried really hard not to be in debt. We did have to buy another car when we came back because when you move overseas, they only pay to ship 1 vehicle, and we only shipped 1 vehicle over there. Bought a really old beater van to drive for the last year that we were there. And then came back and we had to buy another car. So that's our only debt right now, which is really fantastic. My coffee's getting cold and it makes me a little sad. Now my next one I'm super excited about. I showed it in my dream knitting last time. And it's the Starburst shawl by Stephen West. And now I changed the colors up a little bit. I was originally going to do like rainbow stripes in between the wedges. And I had this really dark purple yarn picked for the edging. But when I caked it up, it looked kind of funny. Now it's a little difficult to show because it's a paid for pattern, so I can't say too much. But I have 2 sets of circulars because the top is being held while I do the bottom. And then you finish off the top because you have to have this outside part of your border done in order to finish the top part of the shawl. So what I did, I'm calling it my Fruity Pebbles shawl just because all the colors remind me of the Rainbow Fruity Pebbles cereal, which I used to eat when I was a kid, and now I can't believe that my parents let me eat that. And then the stripes in between is Knit Pick Stroll. I started with this light blue color, and then it wasn't really showing up too well because of the blue that was in the yarn. That's the wrong side. I'm showing you guys the wrong side, I think. Wait, no. That's the wrong side. It's kind of hard to tell. Okay, sorry. Take 6. So I started with that light blue, and I did the first 3 stripes that way. You can see 1, 2, 3. And then I wanted to switch it up, and I tried it with this. It's Stroll Glimmer, so it has a little bit of that Stellina glitter silver in there. And then I did the last 4. It does bother me a little bit that it's not even. I wish it was 3 and 3. but whatever. This top part's going to be the edging, so it really could just be like 3 and 3, and then that top part's that edging. And I think I'm going to stick with the Stroke Glimmer in, is it Fiji? Fiji, yes it is, it's Fiji. And then this bottom part here, I do not know how to pronounce it. It's the Botany Lace by Araucania. I pulled this when I was shopping at the little yarn shop that closed up in Homburg in Germany, where I bought 400 euro worth of yarn for maybe like 150. So that's where most of my stash comes from, and a lot of it's German yarn. A lot of Lang, a lot of Regia, which I think I've used most of the Regia that I bought. But it's this really pretty rose burgundy color. It's a little bit tonal, so there's a little bit of like lighter soft pinks and a little bit of like an orangey hue to it. I really like it. So I'm done up to the second short row repeats for the border, so I need to finish up 2 more, and then I do the top, and then the cast off on the bottom. So it's kind of like you do the top down for the shawl, but you leave like the top part as you're knitting. So it's bothering me that I have 2 sets of circulars on here, especially because my Knit Pick circulars, I think I talked about this last time, the cords are so wonky. You can see it's bending right there. It doesn't sit flat. So the bottom part has my chiagus on it, but they're too short, so it's all bunched up onto one cord. So I really want to get it done just so I can hopefully wear it. It's supposed to get back into the 70s really soon. This is what the Araucania looks like. I have a light over here to kind of help with the shadows, but it's kind of throwing off the colors. So if I point it that way, you can kind of see. My 3-year-old shouting that he's hungry, so I might have to go get him a little bit of a snack. You can kind of see the rosy. It's not really purple. It's not really red. It's not really pink. It's a nice, pretty rosy color. So hopefully I'll have that finished for the next time. I think that is all I have for my works in progress. I'm always working on dishcloths, so but I think I took a break from those just because they're fun, but I wanted to spend my knitting time on something other than cotton. And then this is just in a bag that I made myself. I'm not fancy by any means. I literally just sew some squares and I found some YouTube tutorials online. It's just a really big bag. It works great for sweaters or really big shawls like this. So, next, I might need to go get my kiddo a snack. So I'm gonna pause and go get him a snack, and then I'll come back and talk about some dream knitting, and I think that, and then I think I'll be pretty much done. Be right back. Hey again. Got my kiddo a snack, so now I am back to chat about some dream knitting. I know we are all guilty of every once in a while staying up way too late at night to search through Ravelry, look through, since I have my stash on the computer, I usually click on it and see what other people have done with it so I can get some ideas. Now, part of the Yarn Love Challenge was to show your oldest stash. Now, I have the yarn that my husband bought me when he got me my Christmas present. He bought yarn and he bought me some Knit Picks interchangeables. And I originally had made a honey cowl out of it, but because I was a new knitter, I didn't know about stretchy bind-offs or anything, that I bound off and it was really, really tight. So I ended up frogging it, and then I caked it up, and then I've never done anything with it since. It's a Malabrigo Arroyo. I think it's sport weight yarn, and I have 2 skeins of it in total. Some of it was taken apart because this was 1 skein, and then I have another skein in here. Now, this is just in another bag that I made. This is some fabric I got from my mom, and so I'm calling it vintage because she had it for forever. And then she sent it to me along with some of this green. Now, I know I totally messed this up. I could have hidden this, but I watched the wrong tutorial, and other project bags I've done, like this one right here, I've hidden the zippers before. So I know how to do it. I just didn't do it on this one. And I was a little mad at myself, but I'm like, it's the inside of the thing. So I've got this green fabric, bright red zipper, and this yellow fabric with these little tiny flowers on it. I only make these for myself just because as much as I love project bags, I can't one income family, you guys. We just can't, I can't justify doing it when we have one child that needs a special diet. He has celiac disease, and buying gluten-free can be expensive, especially when he and his brother are very picky about foods. I choose food. And so I have a bunch of fabric usually sitting around just because I've collected it, or old t-shirts and stuff like that. I try to recycle as much as possible. And then since I'm actually out of zippers, I have a bunch of like the cam snap buttons. I have a plan to try to do some bags with buttons because Yarn Cafe Creations podcast, she had some really cute bags, and they had buttons on the top. And I was like, well, that just solves my problem of never having zippers. I have plenty of those cam snaps. So I'm going to try to make bags like this, but with snaps, and then I'm going to start adding handles. I haven't drank all my coffee, so all the words aren't there. So my plan for this one is the Glacier Sweet pattern by Stephen West. It is not a free pattern, but he had his patterns for sale. Let's see if I can try to show the picture without showing any of the pattern. He had a bunch of them for sale, or he had everything like in a 20% coupon code or something. So I bought a couple. I bought a couple shawls, including the Starburst one. This one, because it was a one color shawl. Well, it's technically two because you bind off in a separate color. But my problem is the pattern either calls for fingering or heavy worsted. This is in between, and I don't have enough yardage for either of the sizes. So I have a little ball, like 39 grams of this Knit Picks sport weight cotton. It's getting totally blown out by this light that's over here. But it's just a cream color, and I saw on one of the other projects, they just took one of the wedges and did it a separate color, the same as the bind off on the bottom. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the middle wedges, and I'm going to use this to kind of help with the yardage. And I think if I need to read the end of the pattern, that if I just run out, then I can just bind off in the white color or the cream color, and then I'll be fine. I just like to be able to use all of my yarn. I just don't like to have a whole bunch of excess, because then I don't know what to do with this random sport weight yarn. I might be able to try to sneak it into my Cozy Memories blanket, just because they're almost, I just might have to do it in a smaller needle size so the size isn't way off. But that's my plan, to cast that on when I'm done with my Starburst shawl. And then I love the Find Your Fade shawl by Andrea Mowry, but I don't have enough to do a full shawl. So I looked through, I love a lot of her other patterns. I've been drooling over the Rambled pattern, which is a brioche shawl, and my husband actually went and picked up yarn specifically for this from the little yarn shop that closed in El Paso. So this is just some alpaca with a twist, baby twist, 100% baby alpaca, and I have 3 each of these colors. And we can talk about colors in a different episode, but I got something done called a personal color analysis when we were living in Germany. And I forget what it was called, but like I remember in the 90s people would get draped 4 seasons, spring, summer, fall, or autumn and winter. But now they're in subcategories, and there's 3 subseasons per season. So in spring, there's light spring, true spring, and bright spring. And I happen to be a light spring, and I can talk about that in a different episode. But my husband took my fan. I have a fan of colors. It kind of looks like a fancy paint chips. When you go to like Lowe's and you get like the card with like all the different shades. I don't have it over here. I would show you. Maybe another podcast we'll chat about it. But these match my fan. They're a little bit on the bright side, but because they're going to be together, they'll work. Like this purple right here is in my season. So if you want more information about that, you can totally message me on Instagram, or I think you can leave not messages, but comments on YouTube. So and this is just in another bag that I made. It says recycle, reduce, reuse, recycle. Now I totally screwed up, and I have a hole here. And I just never fixed it. It still zips, nothing falls out. And the inside is this corduroy fabric. I don't even remember where I got it from, but it's just like a regular size. I don't even think, oh, I do. I put in like a bot, like so it won't stand on its own, just because I don't have interfacing to do that with. But that's going to become a Rambled shawl by Andrea Mowry. You can look that up on Ravelry. I love that. Okay, and then this one, again, Andrea Mowry. I have a bunch of like heavier weight yarns, DKs, sports, but they're all not enough that I can do a one color shawl. So I need to do a multicolored shawl. And so I was looking at Andrew Maury and the goldfinch pattern popped up. I haven't bought it. Same thing with the Ramblet. I haven't bought it. I'm not going to buy the pattern until I actually get to making it. And my friend Lauren from the Wool Pickle, she is on Ravelry. She's not on Ravelry as Wool Pickle, so don't look for her there. But she's on Instagram as Wool Pickle. She's a really great artist. She has a coloring book out for making milk. We were both involved in the K-Town Mom to Mom. It's a breastfeeding support group. So she's a good friend of mine. I FaceTimed her via Facebook. So it's not FaceTime. It's Facebook video, I guess. And she helped me pick colors because I had... You'll see in my Instagram post, I posted a bunch of like bits and bobs of different colors that I had left over, and I wanted to do this goldfinch shawl because they don't require a full skein. So I was looking for ones. The main color does require a full skein, so I had a couple of options for that, and we ended up picking this silky wool. It's wool, silk, and nylon. Sorry, that was upside down. That doesn't help. Silky wool by Elizabeth Lavold. I don't know, but it's really pretty. It's really soft. It's got this weird twist to it, and it's almost like white and purple twisted together. So it's very heathered. So we decided this would be the main color here. And then the contrasting colors, I have this Rowan. I'm mixing blends though, because this is a linen cotton blend. It's just a beige taupe, I guess would best describe it. But it still contrasts enough, but still goes together. And then I had just enough of this purple left to do one of the other contrasting colors. So it was one of those, I just kept holding up different combinations of what I had, because I had like a yellow color with this one, and I had like a periwinkle, and nothing was quite matching. But when I put this up, these three just looked really good together. So I think even though this is brighter than the other two, these are very muted and kind of soft. These are totally not my season, by the way. That they would go together pretty decently for the goldfinch shawl. And it's going to be nice and big, kind of like this, where I can wear it like on really cold mornings and then keep it with me, just because the South in general just uses a lot of air conditioning inside, and Germany didn't have air conditioning at all. So it's going to probably feel really super cold in the summer whenever I'm inside. So it's going to be nice to have these shawls just to kind of put over my shoulders, because it's going to be 100 and something degrees outside and hot, and then you're going to go inside and it's going to be freezing. So that will be the goldfinch shawl. This is in I think it's Kicks and Giggles. She was on Etsy. I got this bag for my sister for Christmas while we were in Germany. So I think back in 2013 or 14 is when I got it. But I like the design. I'm thinking of maybe trying to make one myself. So it's a fairly large bag, and there is a pocket on the inside, and it has this strap that you thread through here to carry. I think there's an actual name for this style, but I don't know it. But I like it because then I can, if I'm knitting while I'm like walking or doing something, then I can put this on my arm and I can still knit and have the yarn come through, and there's no zippers for it to get caught on, no buttons to worry about, and all that stuff. So that's going to be the Goldfinch shawl by Andrea Mowry. Now I've been searching for a pattern to go with this gradient set. My husband got it for me from the little yarn shop. It is Island Yarn Shades. It fell apart. No. Thank goodness I took a picture of it and sent it to my friends. The yarn just came undone. So two of them are still on there. Where'd the other one go? There it is. It's the Blood Orange set in Rivulet Small, so it's sport weight. 300 yards? Yes, 300 yards. So they're 75 yards each. I'm glad I took a picture because I don't remember which direction they went. I mean, I'm sure it doesn't really matter. There's one pattern that's specifically written for this set, but I'm not a huge fan of it. So I'm not sure what I want. So I was looking through. I got this through a gift exchange last year. Thank you, Meg. 750 knitting stitches, and I was looking through trying to find a stitch pattern that I liked, and I'm gonna try to design one. I haven't done it before. I'm probably super impatient and it might not work out, but I found a really pretty fishtail lace pattern that I really like in it. But the problem with this book is it's written so it's done right sides and wrong sides, but I want to knit it in the round. So I need to, I think the pattern that I particularly chose, my messenger's open and my husband's sending me ridiculous happy birthday memes. Sorry. Makes me laugh, makes me feel loved, right? So I found a really pretty fishtail lace, and luckily all the wrong sides are pearls, so I think I just have to change them to knit since I'm doing them in the round. So if I don't have to flip it wrong side, I don't need to pearl it, I need to knit it instead. That makes sense, right? But some of like the other patterns like have fancy, like you have to do like pearls and knit two togethers and yarn overs and stuff like that on your wrong sides. So that's not quite as easy. So I'm just trying to figure out how to translate that. So I really want to make this into a cowl, like a short one, like one that fits really close. So if you have any, he sent me 7 knitting images. I have to go look through them for my birthday. So it's not all quite my season. This one's pretty close, but it's well within the family of spring. So I think it'll make a really pretty cowl. I'm thinking of something sort of lacy, but not too open and airy. Like the fishtail lace pattern in the Stitches book was really pretty. If I had marked it, I would show you guys. So I just need to get to swatching and looking at other sport weight cowl patterns so I can kind of figure out how much to cast on and all that fun stuff. So I'm actually really excited. A little scared, but really excited at the same time. And other dream knitting is coming from books from the library. If you don't go to your library, start going. But they have a ton of knitting books. Now I really wish they had sock architecture just because I've been wanting to look at that book for ever. And I want to look at it before I buy it because I don't want to buy a book and then realize like, it's not what I wanted, and then I have to either keep it or I have to figure out how to sell it. But I did get a couple, and I have 2 more actually on hold that I need to go pick up. But this one I've been really excited. I'm going to knit one pattern out of here so far. This is Socktopus by Alice Yu. I had seen it on Amazon. I think it's on my wish list or something. But there's one really cute pattern in here, and they're all, I noticed, like from shows, or at least some of them are. Like the one that I'm knitting is based off of True Blood TV series, which I've watched all the way through. Based on the Sookie Stackhouse novels written by Charlaine Harris. And it's, I'll show you the picture without showing you the pattern. So it's a really plain and simple pattern, and I think it'll look great with some self-striping yarn. So I think this is going to be my second try for Candace's stripy sock knit along. And then this one is actually really good. I just kind of flipped through this, so just some quick knits, so maybe I could figure out some things with like all the bits and pieces that I have. They do have some really cute shawl patterns in here, some hats and some mittens. I really kind of want to make some fingerless mitts for next year, so I'm not really in a rush to make them, but I also don't want to use the yarn for something else that I would rather make some mittens out of. And then this one, because I have 2 to like 2.5 of lace weight yarn. I've only knit with beads once, and it was on a bind off, and it took forever. It was the Spindrift shawl, and I did it in lace weight because I liked the look of it. Pattern was free because I had signed up for something, but it needed some weight, so I did some beading on the bind off, and I think the bind off took me about 3 to 4 hours because it was a picot bind off with beading. It's beautiful. I don't wear it very often just because it's kind of small. I might wear it more like in the summertime when it gets a little bit warmer. But, and then I pulled off a bunch of like free patterns off of Ravelry. I'm like the queen of ums. I'm really sorry for saying it so often. But I pulled off some Mercury socks that I wanted to get done. And, oh, these aren't free, but the Beyond Vanilla Socks by Mina Phillip. I bought the set, and so I did the pebble sock, and then I need to figure out which other ones I want to do. But that's pretty much all of my dream knitting for right now. My queue has a couple more things in there just because I'm still trying to figure out what to do with this lace weight yarn. I don't know if I should just hold it double and do a fingering weight shawl, because one of them is almost 900 yards, so it would be about the equivalent of one fingering weight shawl. Or if I hold it double and use it as a separate color in a different shawl, maybe like a Stephen West shawl or something like that. Because I'm looking at it over here, it's like this bright orange color, and then I have another blue, it's like Anzula Wash Your Lace, I think, that my husband got for me. I'm just looking over here at my stash trying to think of what I have. But I have a bunch more stuff that I'm planning on knitting, but I think I've talked about all of it for right now, and I've talked enough to try to not increase my time, but I want to keep it nice and short. I don't want to waste your ladies and gentlemen's time by watching, but I think that's everything that I have going on right now. I'm going to probably open up a Ravelry group for all of my subscribers. I think there's 3 of you, and one of them might be me. I really appreciate that you guys stop by. If I'm not your cup of tea, just move on. There are plenty of other podcasts out there, but I really hope that you come back. This is episode 3, and I'm hoping that there will be more. And I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my knitting and my works in progress, my finished objects, my dream knitting. I think I like dream knitting more than actual knitting because of the potential that they all have. But thank you guys so much for stopping by and enduring all the ums, and I hope to see you guys again. Happy Tuesday. Bye.